Hello all, I am Sathish Kumar, I am Assistant Professor, SNS College of Engineering from Department of Mechanical Engineering. So today we are going to see a lecture series on testing of hardness of a material. Basically, what is hardness? Hardness is the property of a material or ability of a material to resist scratching, abrasion, etc. So whenever a material is subjected to a strong uh, contact between other material, the surface of the material should be hard enough to withstand the load. So here we have a testing machine for the same hardness. So we are going to look into this Rockwell hardness test. So this equipment consists of a specimen and a ball indenter and a specimen holder. So there are two types of load which is available when we clamp the ball, and we call it as minor load, that is applied from the upper anvil, and there is a major load from the spring of the machine which is available at the back case, which is hidden in this case. So what happens basically on the surface of the specimen, we have a load where the ball is more harder than this specimen. So it tends to get into the workpiece as a indentation, right? So here we have minor load and ball applied at surface B, indented gauge set at the zero level. So there is a reference point where you can set the gauge at zero level. Then major load, when you are applying it, that surface indented to D. So here comes the difference where the material is getting protruded inside the specimen. So major load leaving minor load indentations recovers to R. So this is the final point where the indentation is or the impression is available. So let us see step by step what is happening in Rockwell tests. So there is a uh, preliminary setup, and the Rockwell hardness test is a widely used method to measure the hardness of any material, particularly metals. So it determines the depth of indentation made by the penetrator under a specific load. The Rockwell hardness test is named after its inventor, Stanley P. Rockwell. So this is the person who is responsible for such a beautiful testing machine creation of or inventing this Rockwell hardness test. So here is the how Rockwell test is typically conducted. It starts with this test setup. Rockwell hardness testing machine is used, consisting of testing head and indenter, and usually the indenter is of diamond cone on hardened steel ball and an anvil or support table. The machine applies and measure the depth of indentation made by the indenter. So preliminary setup, the machine is calibrated using specific standards to ensure accurate readings. The preliminary setup involves zeroing the machine and adjusting to the desired test scale. So we have test scale which will be discussed in the last slide, how to select and what are the materials that is being used. Specimen preparation. The material to be tested is typically in the form of flat surface such as metal bar or plate. The specimen should have sufficient thickness to prevent deformation during the tests. So because when the load acts on the material, the thickness of the material to be maintained to a particular level so that the ball gets indented and measure the hardness. Test procedure, the test begins by applying a preliminary minor load to the specimen, which ensures proper contact between the indenter and the material surface. Once the minor load is applied, the machine automatically engages the major load, which is the main testing force. So Actually, what is hardness? It is the resistance of materials towards the applied load on the surface. So major load application is applied for a specific duration to allow for indentation to occur and stabilize. So the duration may vary depending upon the hardness scale being used, and the chart is given for your guidance. Unloading and measurement. After the major load is released, the machine measures the depth of penetration, which is measured the hardness of the material. In the Rockwell hardness test, the depth is determined by difference in position of the indenter when the major load is applied when it is released. Reading the hardness value is very important in this test, which is read directly from the hardness scale provided in the machine. The Rockwell scales typically includes letter A, C, B in the units. The hardness value obtained from the test is recorded along with the corresponding Rockwell scale used for future reference. Rockwell hardness test offers a quick and non-destructive method to evaluate the hardness of a material. It is widely used in quality control, material selection, and process control in industries such as manufacturing, metallurgy, and engineering. So let us see what are all the scales we are using in Rockwell. So the third part, there is different other tests are also available here. So we'll look into the Rockwell test. We have a scale called ACD where there is a diamond cone indenter is used, and thickness of the material is given as TMM, and the indenter angle, the angle of the indenter is 120 degree usually. And we have different load. From the top view we can give 60 kgs load, 150 kgs load, and 100 kgs load. So HRA is nothing but Rockwell hardness in the A scale. HRC is nothing but Rockwell hardness in the C scale. HRD is nothing but it is in the D scale. So it is 100 to 500 T. That is what we are going to get into the hardness number. So again we have different another set of scales B, F, G, and E. So where there are diameters are different, 1/16 inch in BFG and 1/8 in steel ball. And here we have 100 kgs, 60 kgs, 150 kgs, and 100 kgs. We are going to get a hardness number of 130 to 500 thickness. Just we have to multiply the thickness and get the hardness number. This is all about hardness number, Rockwell hardness test. So save trees, save nature. Thank you.